Hello, everybody. Welcome to Zen Guru's another podcast where we bring in front of you influencing and inspiring speakers. And today we have amongst us Mr. Sanjay Singh. Mr. Sanjay Singh is a sales coach, and not only this, he also guides and mentors organizations to improve their sales, their business. So let's talk with him today. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining us here and giving us your time. So, can you share something about your journey into becoming a sales coach and consultant, and what inspired you to focus on sales?
Yeah, sure. Good morning and hello to all your followers. I actually bumped into my sales career long back. That was in 1989.
Okay.
When I joined Eureka Forbes, Pavita, I was in class 11 and I joined Eureka Forbes. I was in the first batch of 16 people who started door-to-door selling in India, in Bombay.
Okay.
And I was selling vacuum cleaners for them at Eureka Forbes. I actually jumped class 11 for 1.5 years, worked in Eureka Force for 1.5 years before I came back and did my engineering MBA and so on and so forth. So that's how I started my sales career. And those 1.5 years taught me that selling is a science. I really started enjoying it and earned a lot of money at that point of time. I remember I bought a Bajaj scooter for myself then,
Wow.
which used to come in black. And yeah, that was a high point in my when I started on my sales, and that's where I realized that sales is a science, sales is a skill which is trainable, and ever since, Bhavita, I have been into sales. I mean, I did my engineering, I did my MBA from Ohio, I worked for McKinsey in USA, UK, Nigeria, came back to India in '98, but all through I have been into sales. Yeah. So that's how, over a period of time, I turned into a sales coach. I think that was somewhere in 1998 when I came back to India. And still, I say that I'm a salesman first, and a sales trainer later, and a sales coach even later.
Wow. So, sir, can you shed some light on your personal experiences that have influenced your belief that sales skill can be taught and mastered?
Sure. When I started selling, as usual, I fell flat on my face.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and it was frustrating. First 10 days were frustrating. And I was very lucky to have a great sales trainer at Eureka Forbes. His name was Solomon. He was a Mongolian. And he always used to ask me every day that, Sanjay, what happened? I said, what will happen? Nothing is happening. I'm just meeting people and they are just showing me off. And Solomon used to tell me, no worry, try again, go tomorrow, go tomorrow. One fine day, Bhavita, I came back and as usual, Solomon asked me, Sanjay, what happened? And I told Solomon that today two people heard me, and after hearing me, they said, no, I'm not interested. And Solomon said, Guy, you are born as a salesman now. If you're able to seek a no from a customer, that means your journey of sales has started. Now you just need to learn how to handle that no and how to translate that no into a yes. So that's the day, Bhavita, I thought that sales is my calling. Because I realized that, okay, sales is something which is trainable and which is something which I could understand that there is an algorithm. And if you can understand the algorithm, you can actually get about it. Right? From there onwards, I did my engineering, I did my MBA. All through I've been working for various companies across verticals. And I kind of, if I may use the word, I kind of started getting orgasmic with the experience on sales. Every time I used to go and practice my science and it worked exactly the way I wanted it to work, I used to get orgasmic. I used to get an adrenaline rush in me that, oh, wow. So I can actually control the psychology of people if I understand what they mean and actually make them do things which I want them to do. And then as I moved ahead in my career, my gurus, my trainers taught me that you want to become a great salesman, you got to practice equanimity. You got to be equanimous. Don't get too attached to an order. Don't get too detached if you are rejected. Yeah. So that's how my career moved, Bhavita. And ever since, I have always realized that sales is an algorithm which you need to understand. If you have high IQ, very good. But even if
Hmm.
you're average IQ, if you understand the algorithm, you can make it happen.
Hmm. Okay, so how do you help your clients to overcome this stigma or fear that's associated with selling? Because I know most of the time, you have this thought going on, no, I'll not be able to do it. I can't do it. I'll not be able to grow it. I think I should quit. Maybe after 1 or 2 months, when things don't go according to your way, it happens with many people. They start thinking about quitting maybe after 5 months or 6 months. So, there's certain stigmas, fears associated with selling. So, how do you help your clients overcome them?
Yes, fear of failure, fear of unknown, and fear of rejections. I mean, these are the three fears which keeps most people away from sales, or even
Yeah,
those who are into sales, they keep on saying that sales sucks because
yeah,
the three failures that really gets on to them. I want to do a live extempore thing with you. Bhavita, are you into selling? I mean, do you enjoy selling?
yeah. I no, I don't enjoy selling.
Okay, great. So Bhavita doesn't enjoy selling, and I will do a quick discussion with you, Bhavita, and
Yeah.
then I will ask you the same question: do you enjoy selling? And
Hmm.
that will answer my question as to how I remove this fear of these three fears from my clients. Yeah, Bhavita.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I will just ask you a few questions. I mean, let's assume I just heard that you train people on anchoring, you train people on soft skills.
Yeah.
So, so let me assume that that is your product.
Yeah.
Okay? And let me assume that that is my product, not your product, and I have come to sell it to you.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
which I'll do later. So first, it's your product, and you're trying to sell it to me.
Hmm.
Okay, we'll just do before after. Yes,
Hmm.
go ahead. Shoot.
Okay, so I would say if you're looking for something, as a side hustle and something as a part-time, so anchoring is the best profession you could be in. Because here you have to, you have to work only 2 days or 3 days a week and you can make good amount of money. And there's no investment. Investment is in your skills. So that is
Okay,
why,
great. Great. I'll
yeah,
stop you there. So
yeah,
you told me something about yourself, and I heard
yeah,
you on a monologue mode, and maybe I'm impressed, or maybe I'm thinking that why not, yes, no, thank
mhm,
you, get lost, right?
yeah,
Now I do the same thing. I do the same thing as a
mm,
salesperson.
mm,
I will switch roles. So now you're my customer, and I am playing the role of Bhavita. Okay.
mm,
So ma'am, I heard that you wanted to know more about what exactly is anchoring and how you could make big out of it. Am I
yeah,
right?
yes.
Okay. So, uh, what is your profession right now? What do you do?
Uh, I'm into I'm into events, event management. I'm doing a job there.
All right. So, in the course of doing events, do you have some spare time with you where you think a kind of side hustle will help you monetize those time?
Yeah.
Okay. So, when we talk of side hustles, and if I ask you to choose what could be the top two side hustles for you going on your scales, what would you go for?
It would be maybe training people or something related to
Okay, great.
communication.
Great.
Yeah.
So training people and something related to communicating. So
Yeah.
what if I say that I'll give you a side hustle which will combine both?
I think that's a good idea.
And if I give you something like this, how much do you think you would be ready to invest? Provided, of course, you will judge whether what I give you is worthy of it or not.
Hmm. I think I have to think about it. I have to, after seeing the entire deal, entire cost details.
Sure, sure. So
put my
if it is something that helps you monetize and helps you earn about ₹1,00,000 per month as a side hustle,
Hmm.
what would you be ready to invest in something like that?
Yeah, of course.
Something like 35,000?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now we break the role play here. Now, Bhavita, you
Yeah.
understand? Do you see any difference in the two
Yes.
parts? What is the difference?
Yeah. Difference was it was more of a conversation rather than just telling somebody about what it is, what it is, what it is. I think it's more of a coaching. When you coach people, you are like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
so
it's a conversation. B,
yeah.
I don't tell the truth. I arrive at the truth,
Hmm.
right? Because irrespective of whatever is your truth, that is a salesman's truth, no one appreciates it. Customer
Hmm.
always says that he's saying this because he wants to sell something,
Hmm.
right? So you don't have to sell. You have to
Hmm.
probe. You have to ask the right questions, and you have to ask the questions in a way that customer gets cornered
Hmm.
into the corner that you have already created for him.
Hmm.
So when I asked you that, do you have time? I was
Hmm.
I was taking you to the corner because
Yeah.
your dialogues were that you can use your spare time.
Hmm.
And my dialogue is that, do you have spare time?
Hmm.
And when you say yes, then I say, okay, how would you like to use that spare time if you want to monetize it?
Hmm.
And when you say, so I'm not talking about the product, I'm talking about your problem.
Hmm.
And then I'm satiating your problem with a solution.
Yeah.
Correct? So you see, it is just a 2 minute of discussion between us. And
True.
I make you realize that a slight alignment in the way you talk
Hmm.
would make a lot of difference, right?
Hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
agree?
Yes, absolutely.
So coming back to your question, this is exactly how we make our customers rewire themselves. You see, my customers know most of the things that I tell him, and probably they have done most of the things that I want to tell them, but they don't do it in the right sequence, and they don't do it with the right skill, and they
Hmm.
definitely don't do it with the right alignment.
Hmm.
Most of my customers feel that sales is about answering. I
Yeah.
feel that sales is not about answering. It's about probing. It's about questioning. It's about
Hmm.
listening. And
Hmm.
then whatever you listen, you
Hmm.
curate that into a solution and
Hmm.
solve a real problem of the customer.
Hmm.
You have to solve a real problem of the customer,
Hmm.
only then you sell. If you create more options for the customers, you don't sell. In fact,
Yeah.
when you create too many options for the customer, you confuse him,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So yes, this is how we go about training our customers on sales. We just we just interact with them and we make them realize that 85% of what they're doing is right. They just need to change that 15% to
Hmm.
align them in the right direction. And of course, these are the nursery classes. And once
Hmm.
this realignment happens, then we take them on the value chain as to how you can make more qualitative calls to get more valuable sales.
All right. So, sir, you talk a lot about top three secrets of building wealth. So, can you shed some light on that? What are the top three secrets that you teach for building wealth in sales, that too without worrying about risk?
Okay, yeah. So, a very overrated quality is IQ. That's very overrated, I think.
Really?
Uh, Very overrated.
Uh-huh.
People say I'm very intelligent and
Yeah.
someone is not excellent enough. And
Yeah.
I think it's very overrated. And a
Mm-hmm.
very underrated skill is hard work in the right direction. Okay.
Hard
So my first secret in being successful in sales is
hard work.
work hard.
Mm.
Of course, work like a guided missile, don't work like a misguided missile. So in the right direction and so on and so forth. But
Mm.
first, If I have two people to choose, and the first person is very intelligent, but not as hardworking, and the second person is average,
But
of
hard
course,
work.
must have common sense, but hardworking, I will choose this one. So
Hmm.
first, work hard.
Hmm.
No option to working hard. No option to working hard patiently, right?
Hmm.
Nice. So when you work hard, what do I mean? Meet more number of people, right? In sales, the more number of people you meet and tell your story, more are the chances of converting, right? So MNOC, minimum number of contacts per day, is the first metric. Work hard and measure it as MNOC, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
The second secret of sales is stop selling.
Hmm.
Salesman is not supposed to sell.
Okay.
A salesman is supposed to help his customers buy.
Hmm.
There's a difference, right? And for me, this was a game changer. The day I realized this, I was galloping on sales, right? So
Hmm.
don't sell. Don't be a sleazy salesman. Don't be a chipko salesman who
Hmm.
is, people hate you. They don't
Yeah.
even want to share their number with you. No,
Yeah.
that's not my salesman. So my salesman is someone who helps his prospects to,
Hmm.
first of all, identify what is their need, pain, challenge, risk. There
Hmm.
could be four things at the customer end. There could
Hmm.
be a need, there could be a pain, there could be a risk, there could be challenges.
Hmm.
So talk to the customer, identify all of them or few of them,
Hmm.
and then retrofit your product and see whether you can solve any real problem.
Hmm.
And don't try to sell a refrigerator to an Eskimo. Don't try to push your product. If you feel that your product doesn't solve any real problem,
Hmm.
don't push.
Hmm.
Don't uh, don't try to extend yourself there. So that's my secret number 2. And my secret number 3 is always stay connected with your customers.
Hmm.
Your job starts the day you make a customer. Your job doesn't end the day you make a customer.
Hmm.
Because every customer has a lifetime value. We call it
Hmm.
LTV. So if you want, as a professional, I am interested in monetizing the lifetime value of a customer. I'm not
Hmm.
interested in 1 or 2 transactions with the customer.
Hmm.
And to monetize the lifetime value, I need to stay connected. I need to go back to the customer even after having sold. I need to go back and say, hey, are you using my product correctly? Hey, can I tell you one better way to use my product? Hey, can I have a cup of tea with you? Hey, do you know anyone else who would need my product? So I keep on going back. I get referrals. I get opportunity to do cross-selling. I
Hmm.
can do upselling. I
Hmm.
can do replacement selling to that person. And that's how I keep on monetizing the lifetime value of the customer. So my top 3 secrets: 1, work hard, MNOC. Second, stay connected with your customer,
Hmm.
right? And third, what is the third which I said, Bhavita?
Hmm. Third is okay. So third is what was it? Yeah, be connected to your customer.
Yeah.
So it was be connected to your customer. Don't try to sell something that they don't need. And
Yeah. So,
third is
so
be a
always
friend to them.
stop selling, start helping. That's
Yeah,
my tip
stop.
number 2.
Yeah,
Work hard, stop selling, start helping,
yeah,
customer buy, and stay connected.
stay connected. Yeah. So all right. So this was I must say they were this was something not tangible kind of things that you were saying. Obviously, everybody has to see when the situation comes. Now, can you tell us about some tools that you can offer to help individuals gain sales expertise?
Yes, the first tool is CRM, customer relationship management as a
Okay,
platform,
all right.
because the biggest problem with salespeople is they have a leaking sales funnel. Leaking sales funnel, what do I mean by leaking sales funnel is you meet 10 people, and the moment you meet 11th person, you tend to forget the first one. Right? That's human. It's human. It is said that it's but only Einstein who could remember 19 things at a point of time. So even Einstein could remember only 19. So as normal human beings, we can't remember more than 5, 6, 7 people, things at a point of time. So you have a leaking sales funnel. It's always like 4 steps forward, 3 steps backwards. You have a prospect today which could buy probably after 6 months, but you don't have a system to record. So number one, use CRM as a tool. And there are a lot of CRM platforms. You have Zoho, you have HubSpot, you have Sugar, you have Salesforce. So choose, make your own choice. I'm not recommending any name, but make use of CRM software. And it's very cheap. The cost is hardly 500 to maximum 3,000 rupees per person per month. Okay. Second is there are a lot of AI tools used these days, which you need to use, because if you're a salesperson, you got to be smart in digital marketing. You got to be smart in email marketing. You got to be smart in performance marketing, WhatsApp marketing. These are the 4 things that you need to do for yourself. So for each, there are tools. Like for WhatsApp marketing, you have Wati. For email marketing, you have a lot of platforms like activecampaign.com, getresponse.com, and so many of them, right? There are a lot of AI tools. You have tools like Canva to do your own creatives. You have tools like Hootsuite to do scheduling of your content. You have tools like Calendly to schedule your own calendar. You have a Google Calendar at the very basic level. So I could classify the tools, 1, into customer relationship management tools, 2, into collaboration tools. So when you're working with multiple teams, you need tools like Trello, like Asana to collaborate. Then you have tools like, so Zoom is also a collaborative tool. And then you have tools like personal self-discipline, self-management, like schedulers, Hootsuite, Calendly, and stuff, right?
Great. So how do you...
Before all technology, you have to understand that you need one tool to manage yourself. Because if you can't manage yourself, you cannot manage sales. Yeah. But
Okay. So how do you work with corporate and SME sales teams to improve their overall performance?
So when we get an inquiry from an SME, the first thing that we do is we conduct a gap analysis. So we try and understand as to what are the good things in the existing sales ecosystem of the customer and what are the missing things in the existing sales ecosystem. Because we don't believe that there's anything bad. They're either good or they're missing. All right. So we identify the gaps through the gap analysis, and then we prepare a blueprint for success, which is a document which details what we propose to do for the customer in every quarter. So deliverables and the kind of money that is going to be required to fulfill those deliverables, and the roles and responsibilities of the client and also our own team. So this is the blueprint for success. Step 2. Step 3, client approves the blueprint for success with whatever changes they want. And then we create a final go-to-market plan. That's step 3. Once the GTM is ready, go-to-market plan is ready. The roles are already defined, the budgets are already defined and approved by the client. Everyone gets on to implementation. And we have a very standard template. Quarter 1 is realignment of sales ecosystem into what it should be. Quarter 2, you start getting the results of the new sales ecosystem to the tune of 10%. Quarter 3, you get incremental sales guaranteed to the tune of 20%. If we fail, we refund 75% of the money that we have collected from the customer till then. And quarter four is party time, is celebration time. All targets defined in the go-to-market planning is achieved. So if you see, it's a very result-oriented program that we do for SMEs.
Mm.
The risk is all ours.
Mm.
They listen to us. We will use their money to give them the guaranteed growth, and we give a minimum 20% guarantee from our side. At the end of quarter three, a minimum 20% growth
Wow.
is there. If not, we serve a penalty clause, which is there on a stamp paper as part of the MOU. We will refund 75% of the fees that we have collected from the client till then.
Nice.
So in all, the client only invests 25%. We invest our own time, energy, and expertise in 75%. And we are perhaps the only consulting organization best known to me, which gives guaranteed, no assurance, no warranty, guaranteed 20% growth.
That's quite fascinating. Well, you have so much of you trust and belief in yourself and your skills. That's amazing. I think, can you tell us about some key strategies you teach for overcoming objections in the sales process?
Yeah, sure. Objections don't need to be handled. They need to be obliterated. They need to be decimated. They need to be killed, right? So I don't believe in objection handling.
Okay.
I always advocate butcher the objection, maim it, kill it, decimate it, right? So what's my, I'll again do a small role play with you. Okay. I'll ask you a few questions and you give me answer according to you. And once you finish giving your answer, you ask me the same question. I will give you the answer. And that will show how objections need to be decimated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bhavita, when you teach someone how to anchor, what is the specialty in your training?
Speciality is we are a very close-knit, group where we don't have 3 to 4 people in the group. And it's more of one-to-one to everybody. So that's a specialty in training. It's not like a big group class. Because anchoring can't be taught to a large group. It's not like you give lectures. It's more of an experiential learning.
Fair enough. Reverse the same question to me.
Okay. So what about your coaching, sir? What is your specialty in this, in sales coaching? What do you think is not there in other sales coaches, but it's there in?
So thank you very much for your question. So by taking a sales coaching from the best coach in the world, what are your expectations? What should happen at your end for my specialty to be congratulated?
I think increase my sales by 30 or 40% in 6 months.
Okay. So this 60% growth, 30% growth that you're looking at should be top line or bottom line?
It doesn't matter. I'm just looking at growth.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And since you are selling multiple products, so are you looking for this growth in any one of them or overall growth you're looking at?
Overall growth.
Okay. Now, do you realize that when you grow by 30%, you also have to increase your working capital by 30%? Are you ready for that?
I think I have to think on it.
Okay. So let's assume for the moment that you're ready for it. Okay.
Okay.
So are you also ready to increase your mindset into the business by 30%? Because I'm just a coach. It's you who has to increase your business. So do you have the mindset? Do you have the time?
Yes, I have.
All right, good. So we stop it there. Now, do you understand? Do you see any difference in the way I handled the objection? The objection was same. When I asked the question to you, you gave me an answer which was right from your perspective. But when you ask the question to me, I didn't give you an answer.
You asked that to me, and then according to that, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
so that's the way you help your customer understand how to decimate objection. Never try to handle objections. You have to kill the objection. And you have to make the customer realize, Babita, the customer who asks you questions knows the answer. Your job is just to probe him and take out the answer from his mind. Because when you take out the answer from his mind, he owns the answer and he buys his own answer. He never buys my solutions. He only buys his own answers. And if you observe the way I was asking you a question, I made you realize a few things which you didn't realize when you said that you want to
Yes,
put.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Right?
It was quite eye-opening that you don't think about so many things. You don't think about other person. Here, I think when you are selling, it's not about you. It's about 90% game is about other person, what they want, how you can help them.
It's
Whether your product
110%. It's 110% about the customer.
yeah, yeah.
I am only a Sutradhar. I am only a Krishna. I'm not even a Ram.
Yeah.
My customer is the Ram. I'm the Krishna. And I don't have any Ravan in this game. Right?
Yeah, so it's more about listening skills, right?
More about listening skills and more about questioning skills.
Okay.
So first you question and then you listen actively. Question.
Yeah.
So my golden rule, Bhavita, is the right answer to a question is never an answer. The right answer to a question is always a right question. Till such time you are able to get the answer from the customer, keep on probing him with the right question.
Yeah.
I'll just give you a small example. When I ask my small child, now he's grown up, when I used to ask him that, hey, darling, we are going for dinner tonight. My child used to say, huh? What time are we going? Which hotel are we going? Are we going to my favorite pizza shop? Are you going to buy me ice cream after the dinner? And are we going to go in our Mercedes car? Or are we going to go in our bike? My child was such a great salesperson, right? He used to ask questions. So curiosity is the essence of a salesperson. Need analysis, the hunger to know the need, pain, challenge, risk of the customer is the essence of a salesperson. So when you start handling an objection with an answer, you are dead. You're not a salesperson. You're not speaking the right dialogues. So it's important for you to know the answer. But even if I know the answer, I never give the answer. I ask the right question.
Okay, so now if an individual doesn't feel confident, in their sales abilities, how do you help clients build confidence in them so that they can go and they can sell?
Confidence is not a commodity which you can go to the market and buy. There is no price. You can't say that.
Hard work.
So confidence is a direct proportion to the number of times you have failed.
Oh.
You try doing something, you will fail. No one has passed in the first attempt because you are trying something new, right? So you try, you fail, you try, you fail. But every time you fail, you learn something. So you try, you fail drastically. Then you try next time, you fail, not drastically, little less. Then third time you try, you fail a little less. And this little less and little less keeps on coming down. So Bhavita, do you feel that practice makes a person perfect?
Perfect, I don't, but definitely makes a perfect record.
I think your video was hung for some time, so let me repeat so I didn't put it on the edit.
Okay.
So, Bhavita, do you think that practice makes a person perfect?
Yeah, I think more than perfect, it makes person confident.
So I want to change your opinion because this statement is absolutely wrong.
Mhm.
Practice never makes you perfect. Perfect practice will make you perfect. If your practice has got some mistakes, the
Mhm.
more you practice, the more imperfect you'll become, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
So when you're practicing selling, you need to know what is the perfect way of doing it. And that's why you need a sales coach, a sales guru, a sales trainer.
Mhm.
And then once you know what is the perfect way, you start doing it, you fail, do it X number of times, you will get confident. If you're looking for any other shortcut method to get confident, you're fooling yourself, right?
Mhm.
So my job is to tell you what is the perfect way of doing it.
Mhm.
If required, to coach you when you're doing it, to find your mistakes online. You have to fight your own battles. You have to go, fail, get hurt, learn, get hurt, learn, and one fine day, wow, I have arrived.
Mhm.
So as a thumb rule, if you fail in anything 19 number of times,
Mhm.
there's a rule in mathematics called Fibonacci theorem.
Mhm.
So if you fail 19 times, you are bound to succeed. You're bound to be confident 20th time.
Mhm.
So the good news is the maximum number of times that you need to fail is 19 times.
Mhm.
Normally, if you're smart, 5 to 7 failures will take you there.
Mhm.
No one is so smart that right in the first attempt, he or she will master it. No.
Mhm.
So the smart guy will fail 5 to 7 times, and the average not so smart person will fail 19 times. That's it. You're
Mhm.
confident after that.
Nice. Okay, so what do you think about time management in sales success, and how do you coach clients to improve it?
Time is something which cannot be managed. The clock keeps on ticking, and clock
Mhm.
is not a slave to anyone.
Mhm.
So when first thing that we teach is that when you're trying to do time management, it is not time that you're managing.
Mhm.
And what are you managing? What do you think
So
you're managing, Vita?
I think it's not your time, but it's your mind that you have to manage.
Yes, it's your discipline,
Discipline.
how you treat time.
Yeah.
So most of the people do not know what they're managing. They always say, I'm managing time, I'm managing time. I say, hey, you cannot manage time.
But you can manage your mind.
You can manage your mental discipline of how you treat time. So if
Mm.
you have to reach somewhere at 3 o'clock and you start dressing up at 2:30, you have lost it. Because if your traveling time is half an hour and you start dressing up at 2:30, you've lost it. So in
Yeah.
your Google Calendar, you should not write 3 p.m. You should write 2 p.m.
Mhm.
Provided it takes you 20 minutes to get dressed up and 30 minutes to reach and 10 minutes
Yeah.
before you have to reach somewhere. So I'm a strong proponent of the principle of time boxing,
Mm.
something which was made famous by Elon Musk.
Okay.
So there's a concept called DILO, Day in the Life of, DILO.
Dialogue. Okay.
So you got to have your DILO, which means that you have divided your time into time boxes. So
Okay.
broadly, you have told yourself that I reach office at 10, so 10 to 12 is one box, where I
Mm.
do a particular genre of things. 12 to 2 is one box, 2 to 3 is
Mm.
lunch.
Mm.
So like this, you prepare boxes and broadly you define the genre of work you will do in each box.
Mm.
Having said that, it's your own rule which you can break on any particular day if
Mm.
something emergency is there. But out of 30
Mm.
days, if you
Mm.
follow your dialogue for at least 22 days,
Mm.
you have set that discipline.
Mm.
And stop,
Following it for first 21 days is a big challenge, no?
yes, and stop believing that 1 minute late हुआ तो क्या problem है.
Mm.
Because when you're late by 1 minute, there is actually no problem. No one suffers anything. It's your brand which suffers. It's
Yeah.
your credibility which suffers. It's
Yeah.
your self-belief in yourself which suffers,
Hmm.
right? You are on the defensive, whereas you're supposed to be on the offensive.
Hmm.
So, 1 minute late hua to, there is
Yeah,
no
probably.
problem with the client, there's no problem with the
Absolutely.
world. You
Yeah.
have to start thinking the problem is with you, man.
Hmm.
Your brand is supposed to be worth $1 billion. And why are you denting your own brand? You know?
Hmm.
So answering your question, we don't teach our people how to manage time. We teach our people
How
how
to
to
manage your
manage
discipline,
your mental
mental.
discipline. How do you look at time, and what are the SOPs that will help you pursue time? Because it's very important in sales. The more
Hmm.
time you have for yourself, the more number of calls you can make, and the more number of calls you make, the more sales you will do,
True.
even if you're average IQ.
Hmm. All right. So, sir, this was about mental discipline. Sometimes you would come across people who have a very, very fixed mindset. Okay. So sometimes it happens with me also. Now, if I have to do a certain thing, and I've also seen people around me. Yesterday, I was talking to my maid, and I just realized that she's like, I don't have much work to do because she is stuck into that realm where she's to get up, she has to find work, she has to earn money, and then the same cycle goes on. So it's very difficult for us or anybody else to deviate from the paths of what we are doing right now. Now, to do something big in life or to increase your earning capacity, it's very important to go from a fixed mindset to growth mindset. And the entire growth lies there only. But I have seen individuals trying from past 2 years, 3 years, they're just not able to leave their jobs. They're not able to leave, their comfortable lives, and but then still they have these dreams to follow, and what comes is regret, frustration, and everything. So I think, how do you help professionals or people to shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset?
I get you, Bhavita. I mean, you were talking about Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sapne, right? There are
Yeah.
people with a lot of desires and a lot of paper ambitions, but
Yeah.
no plan to. Yeah, so, I want to share the example of a person playing with a football without goalpost and a person playing with a football with a goalpost. Now, both of them are running around with the ball. Both of them are skillfully handling the ball, but one has a goalpost, one doesn't have a goalpost. So, since there is no goalpost, so there is no goal. And since there is no goal, spectators don't stand up to applause because they don't know when they're supposed to applause.
Hmm.
You get the point? So, if you want to be a growth mindset person, you first of all, you have to document your goals.
Right, yeah.
And the first thing that we do with our client is make them document the goals. All right. And then divide the goals into short term and long term goals, and of course, support it with a plan and so on and so forth. So,
Hmm.
first, document your goals, write your goals, because when you think emotions and facts. But when you write only facts
Facts.
because there is no language to write emotions,
Yeah.
right?
So,
Unless you're a poet or an artist.
hmm.
Number one. Number two, once your goals are defined, skill yourself to handle those goals,
Hmm.
right? You cannot say I want to go to the moon and you can't even walk. Talk less about walking without gravity, right?
Hmm.
So you have to skill yourself.
Hmm.
And having said that, excuse me, you can also employ skills. So
Hmm.
not need to be skilled everything yourself, but then if you
Hmm.
employ skills, you need to be skilled enough to handle skilled people.
Hmm.
So some skill you will need, right? So second
Hmm.
step is skill yourself. And third is stop fooling yourself. So have a documented plan,
Hmm.
right? and then follow it up with a documented strategy. I would like to share a very commonly known story, the story of Ram and Ravan. You know, Ram was a god. Lord Rama was a god, is a god rather. And even despite the fact that you are the omnipotent, omnipresent God, our own Lord Rama could not kill Ravan unless Vibhishan came and told him that hit him in his navel. Right? I'm sure you have heard that story. And that's the time Ram took out his bow and arrow and hit Ravan in his navel, and that's how Ravan died. So despite being a god, you cannot kill a Rakshas unless you have strategic inputs to yourself. So you could be planning, you know, our Mungeri Lals have a lot of plans, but your plans are useless if you don't have a strategy, and you cannot have a strategy if you do not have strategic inputs into which can feed into your plan to convert your plan into a strategic plan. Right? So if you want to have a growth mindset, start with goals, document your goals, skill yourself, then take it forward with a plan, convert the plan into strategic plan, which means that gather strategic inputs from the market. And fifth, learn to celebrate small victories in life. Don't wait for the big victory because that may not come if you don't know how to celebrate the small victories in life. So every small milestone celebrate. दुनिया में कोई देख नहीं रहा, आप खड़े हो जाइए, खुद के लिए ताली बजाइए, congratulate yourself, pat your own back. You need to get that adrenaline. You need to get that oxytocin in yourself. You need to get that positive energy in yourself, right? And at the soft skill level, try to see how you can be equanimous. It's your karmas which will take you there. It's not your luck or good fortune that will take you anywhere. So believe in the karmas, define your karmas, and focus on your karmas. That will take you to a growth mindset. So if you look at it, growth mindset is a lot to do with how you look at things, from what perspective you look at things, and your entire philosophy of life. So in a single sentence, if you understand your sukarmas, which will help you reach to your documented goals, I think you will sooner or later get into a growth mindset. And then there are a lot of jargon, there are a lot of ways, means, technology to help you go there, here. But karmas. In fact, I'm writing a book called The Karmas of Sales, where I'm sharing a lot of theorems which, if followed, will take you there. All right. So that's work in progress.
All right. So now let's talk about your programs. What are the new programs that you are working on, and about your programs, that include sales professionals that help organizations to increase their growth?
Sure. So my programs are divided into 7 genres. The first one is called SaleskiJaat. And this program looks at the DNA of sales in you, because if you don't have the SaleskiJaat in you, nothing is going to happen. Things like the right way to answer a question is ask a question, relevant question, is one of the learnings from that Jaat. Okay. The second is SaleskiVidhi, which talks about the process of selling. The third program is SaleskiNeeti, which talks about the strategy of sales. Okay. The fourth program is Sales Ke Rishte, which talks about relationship management in sales and how do you leverage that. Next program is Sales Mein Mol Bhav, which talks about the science of sales negotiations, and it also talks about 7 laws of sales negotiation And these 7 laws have been curated by us. You'll not get them in any book. We have learned it, researched it through our experiences. We have created it. The next program that we have is Saleskatha, which talks about the uh, act of storytelling in sales. You got to tell stories in sales, and real stories, not false stories, or even made up stories which look real. All right, so that's Saleskatha, where we talk about 7 different stories that every salesperson must know how to tell. Okay, so these are the 7 genres. Now, within these genres, we have created programs which people can go online and buy and download and make use of. So they are typically, the first one is Sell Well, which is a program with around 10 pre-recorded videos, which will help a person understand the Jaat of sales, the SaleskiJaat, right? Then we have a program called Sales Baptism, which helps you baptize yourself into sales. So typically, this is for startup founders and people who are getting into sales. It will help you baptize yourself into sales. Then we have a program called Sales Marathon, which is a 7 days program with 7 different titles, which in a marathon takes you through, skims you through all aspects of sales for you to kind of judge whether you really want to get into sales or not. So a lot of times people are unhappy when they get into sales because they don't understand what is sales. They have a very hackneyed, a very stereotype image of sales. So that is Sales Marathon. And then we have a program called Sales Man Edge. Man Edge, MANEDGE. So this is a program for sales managers, specially curated for those salespeople who have just become sales managers, and they are transforming from a field frontline salesman to a new sales manager. So that's again a program for new, fresh sales managers. So these are 4 programs which are available online, and these are the 7 genres under which we curate all our programs.
Okay, sir. Well, thank you so much. I think it was great having you here. I mean, you changed my perspective when it comes to sales, because I was thinking sales is about telling somebody what you have, but no, it's about asking the other person what they want. So thank you so much for joining us. It's truly an honor to have you here for this podcast.
You're most welcome, Bhavita, and I'm so happy that you took out your time to ask me these questions. Till such time we meet again.
Yeah,
Thank you very
sure.
much.
Thank you.
All right. So, Bhavita, now let's get to the other part. Yeah. So Bhavita, thank you so much. And you're really fascinating when you asked me these questions. I was really on a high. How do you manage this? I mean, is it a skill which you have acquired over a period of time, or you're born with it? Or do you think that this is trainable? You could actually train people with these skills.
Yeah, you can. It's about, I mean, taking interviews, giving importance to other people, and create, and create that energy. So it's all about. I think it's all about communicating from within. And I am a stage host. I've hosted events with a lot of celebrities and anchors, and a lot of renowned anchors I've hosted events with. So I've been into this profession from past 12 to 13 years, and I realized that there's a gap in the market. We need right kind of talent, right kind of skills, but we don't have. There's so many events happening, in India. You can see there like around 10 lakh to 12 lakh events happening in India. And I think mostly 80% of time in every event, they need an MC to control the audience, to engage them, to make the event memorable. So when it comes to start of the event, so anchors or MCs are the stars of the event, okay? They make sure that events are memorable for the audiences. So I've been doing this from past 12 years, and I thought that now it's time to, get into wear a entrepreneurial hat. So I thought that why not train people and get them on a platform that's talent for events where we give them work. We train them and then we give them work. So we are looking for individuals who want to have a side hustle and, who want to make some money. They're doing their job, their corporate job, but then they also want to get into team building. They want to, they want to be a corporate trainer when it comes to engaging people. So we help them become that. We give them, we teach them about team building exercises, inbound, outbound. But if they also want to become a wedding anchor, we also tell them how to get into it because wedding is a big market and every wedding you need an MC. So this is what it's all about.
So a lot of people have this stage fear and
yeah, so we help you overcome them. We've a lot of exercises on that, how to overcome stage fear. Once you start that with me, I'll, we'll focus on that.
And roughly for a starter, how many days does it take for someone to?
I think, yeah, so I will be giving them 30 live sessions where I'll be one-on-one with them. So yeah, so we will be, it's not about I am telling them everything. It's about what I tell them that they have to perform. So when they perform, I have to review it. So it's all about that.
Congratulations. It's a really tough work for you because treating and changing human beings' mindset is perhaps the biggest challenge. So kudos to you. Well done, Bhavita. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.